Hey.
What is up, everybody? It is us. It is Sunday. That's right, I forgot the music. So, boom, there comes the music. It is Sunday. It is 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It is time to go. It is time to make it happen.
What
Well,
the heck?
I forgot to hit the fade in, fade out.
Dang, man. We're
But we're
already
gonna get
jacked up.
we're already messed up. But tonight is special. It is the hot seats. Tonight we have Signe Condon bringing her to the stage right now. It is Signe Condon from
Hey, she made
Ghostoria.
it.
Still a little sick, so bear with me here.
Aren't we all in some manner?
Well, sure. How's it going?
It's
It is
going good.
chaos like always.
That's right.
First day back to work. It was awesome.
Well, besides a ghost hunter, what else do you do for the viewing audience?
Well, I'm semi-retired bookkeeper, and I am now a permanent makeup artist, as in tattooing.
I
Ooh.
think you need to tell the audience where it is that you do your tattoos because that is kind of the cool part.
Well, we have a shop in the allegedly haunted underground of Astoria.
Oh,
We've had a
that
few
is
things
cool.
happen there for sure. Very
So
excited where we work.
you gotta go and you gotta get a tattoo in a haunted tattoo parlor in haunted Astoria.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, I think I know where I'm going for my next one.
Mean your eyeliner?
No.
Hey, it would make Halloween a little bit easier to get into.
Sure.
Well, I mean, this year we did the ghost tours. We had our mask, but we didn't have any eyeliner this year.
Well, we'll take care of that next year.
You know, I mean, you really can't goth out without the eyeliner or the guy liner, if you would.
Guy liner, I like that. That's going to be a new service I provide, guy liner. I'll give you credit for that, though.
Actually, you got to give 30 Seconds to Mars that one. That was their thing.
Dang it. All right. Jared Leto.
Jared Leto, yes. The man, the myth.
Yep.
I ain't going to go legend. The dude's a little into himself, but hey, he's got some good music. All right, so anyway, hot seat, chaotic as always. There is no list of questions. There are nothing really else. It's just going to be chaos. So,
how did I get so lucky?
Well, we had your.
It was a little
partner
Russian
in
roulette,
crime
and you
on.
came up first.
Perfect.
We had Natalie on once upon a time.
I remember. I think I had to work.
Yes. Yeah. Do you believe so?
Yeah,
I had to work.
work.
It's in the middle.
Anyways, on to the hot seat questions that don't really exist because the points don't matter.
Shoot.
So how long have you been chasing them ghosts, and what brought you into the business?
Loaded questions. I've only been really doing it formally probably about 6 years. But I've had interest, here and there over the years. It'll come and go. It's fleeting until probably about 8 to 10 years ago. But there's always been something paranormal involving my family. Most of my, all of us are capable, allegedly, of being mediums and psychics. But my family has a tendency to use that gift and have that gift, but not want that gift. Everyone but me. I think they can all tap into it, and I'm just not doing it yet. And they've had some really bizarre experiences. And growing up, I heard of these things and I just, brushed it off. And now that I'm older, I'm like, holy hell, I want those experiences. How the hell did I hear those stories and never ask about them before the person having those experiences passed on?
Right.
Because there are some crazy stories.
I would believe it.
My mother, which I would never call her a liar ever, told me that she was staying at a friend's house, sorry, and woke up to the sound of a party. And she got up and went and looked, and she saw an entire room of people dancing and clinking glasses and laughing and having a good time, and there was no party going on. She went back to bed, woke up a little while later, turned over. There was someone next to her with a hood. It turned its head towards her. She called it a Grim Reaper. No way in hell would my mother make that up. So I don't know if she was hallucinating or she actually saw what she saw. But that's probably one of the tamer stories of things that have happened in my family. We
Okay.
I don't always tell this story, but we had a family friend that took his own life at our home. And it was a family member's home, and I decided to stay the night. And I was just kicking back on the couch, was falling asleep, not asleep, not awake. I'm sorry to tell sometimes, but I want people to know that these are real things that happen to people. And whether they believe in spirits or not, this stuff does happen and it does affect you. Anyway, I'm laying there and all of a sudden I feel pressure here on my shoulders, right? And this pressure is going down my body to my chest, if you understand what I'm saying. And I started to scream, and I'm just screaming my head off for my sister. And all of a sudden it stops. And and at the time I couldn't get up either, but I was able to get up, and I went running to my sister's room and I said, "What the hell was wrong with you? Why didn't you come to my aid?" She said she never heard me, and I was no more than 10 or 15 feet from her. So apparently this was happening and nothing was coming out of my mouth. Now that's not the only physical thing that happened due to this spirit, but it's the only thing I want to tell. Other things happened to other people that were quite strange, including a possession. And so again, I'm in my 20s, and I just go on with life, and I just forget all about it and don't even think about it again until, I'm in my 40s. And then that's when I started to take another interest in the paranormal.
Right.
Now that I've brought the whole room down, let's talk about something else. Apologize for that. That's never really hit me like that before tonight.
Apparently we bring that out in people.
Oh, things have been a little weird for me lately, so I don't know what it is. Who knows?
Well, just think of it this way. Natalie had the advantage of there not being video feed to look at our happy faces.
Right.
I did have my sister owned an bed and breakfast in Astoria, an old Victorian. It's still there. It's still a bed and breakfast. And on the second floor, there was a landing where all the bedrooms were off of, but a giant landing. And she said every morning of every day that she owned that place, that a gentleman would meet her at the top of the stairs and walk her to the kitchen every morning. And she said he looked just like us, not see-through, not transparent, just a man that would take her to the kitchen every morning. But I never felt anything when I was in that house. And she never told me it was happening either.
Yeah.
But I would love a chance to go back in there and investigate. But the new owners either don't believe or don't want anyone in there because they've never returned my emails or phone calls.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of another place that's in town that doesn't ever talk to us no more.
There's so many of them, aren't there?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, because we're just coming up with stuff on the fly. So when you're doing cases, what's the what makes you feel the best when you're doing, like, say, a in-home investigation for somebody, helping somebody out, messing with the ghosts?
You know, to be honest, we have not done a lot of in-home investigations. Most of our stuff is commercial. Not to say we haven't done a home, but it's usually we get the call that someone is saying, all this, and this is happening. And we're like, oh my God, that sounds amazing. Would love to experience that. Let's check it out. You know, and we get there and, you know, of course, nothing's going to happen because that's just the way it works, right? Sometimes you have to go to a place 5 or 6 times. So I would say nothing has ever happened at any of these residences. But if it did, what I think people want to know is that they're not crazy. They want some sort of proof, and they want someone else to see and experience the things that they are. They want people to say, yes, I think you have something in your home. Not necessarily, let's banish it, let's get it out of here. It's, you know, it's a demon. You know, I think people just want to know they're not crazy.
Right. What would be your most favorite place to investigate? That out of everywhere you've been, if you had an open door.
Well,
the owner gave you the keys and said, here, you've got it for 24 hours. Go crazy.
Klondike in St. Helens. So I'll tell you, before I ever went to the Klondike, I would have said Gully's Butcher Shop in Astoria. Only for the fact that we had so much activity there, and we were down there 4, 5, 6 nights a week because we hosted the tours, right? And we were down there by ourselves for our own enjoyment. And a lot of stuff happened in person, like REM pods, cat balls, you know, things like that we could say, hey, spirits, can you make it go blue? And it would go blue. Or spirits, make it go red, and it would go red, which is exciting. But at the Klondike, although not a lot of that happens, we had so many EVPs captured there and so many things on audio that it's so phenomenal how crazy that place is. And spirit box communication. One of our best pieces of audio evidence is from the Klondike. And the only place I've ever gotten an apparition picture, what I believe is an apparition.
Right. I would pull those pictures up. For some odd reason, Facebook said, no, you can't screen share tonight.
Oh,
I don't know what happened. Yeah, I don't know what happened on my end, but my computer went, yeah, no, we're not going to show pictures tonight, buddy.
Say, it's really odd the amount of stuff that we capture, and people have told us that it's not that common, which I don't know any different, you know. I just roll a recorder and get what I get. But if people get a chance, they should go to our Facebook page and check them out, because there's some crazy stuff on there. Really crazy.
And if you look on the bottom of your screen to the viewing audience, it should be their Facebook page.
Yep.
Facebook.com/Ghostoria. Go check it out. A lot of cool videos. That since, you know, my Facebook doesn't want me to watch.
Hey, doesn't mean everyone else can't.
Exactly.
I think
Be sure to tune on in.
Those are the two most active places, I would say. I had gone to a home in Astoria for a completely different reason, but the woman had I'd never met her, but she had just seen on some Facebook page my name before I'd gotten there and realized what I do. And so she happened to mention, hey, my house is haunted. I'm like, oh, okay, but I'm there for something else. So I'm doing my thing. And she's telling me a few stories, and she says, people hear a man say, hey, or hey, hey. I said, okay. She says it was so loud and clear that when she was in the shower, she thought it was her husband in the house saying, hey, I'm home. I'm like, all right. We do our thing, and all of a sudden I'm talking to her, and to the right of her, or to my right, there's these two orbs like this size. I don't know if you can see it, like golf ball. And they were undulating, and they were solid white. And there was just two of them right next to her face. And I was just like, what in the hell is that? And she's like, what are you looking at? And I tell her, and she goes, oh yeah, we've seen those. And I was just astonished because I've never seen anything like that before, right? And I'm like, hey, can we investigate your house? Of course. And her husband doesn't want the activity increased, which sometimes that can happen. But as I'm leaving, I've got my hand on the door, and she's talking, and all of a sudden I hear, hey. It's like, this is the holy grail. Two things in one house, and she won't let us investigate.
Dang.
It's amazing. But I'm sure there's tons of these stories all over Astoria, just because of the history here and being so old. Have you guys investigated in Astoria?
Actually, I have. I've done a business down there. Deals only. And because my wife's friend's mother actually works there, and I've done 2-3 investigations there. I actually have the key to the place, so I can go in whenever I want. So, maybe. Well, I'm getting ready to plan another trip down there. My thought is maybe I'd already talked to Darren about it. I'd already talked to Darren and see if he wanted to come. I just haven't had it planned out yet. So
yeah, that place is interesting.
Yes, we definitely caught quite a bit of audio in there, and I've I've had there's a female spirit in there and a male spirit. The male spirit, he loves his alcohol. So, trigger objects, we brought alcohol in there for him and did all that good stuff. The female likes flowers, and you get flowers, and she's all happy. And I've had my experiences with her alone, and that's a whole nother subject. But let's just say it put me in tears. So, and that doesn't happen to me on investigation. So, yeah.
Well, hell, if that happens, Nat and I maybe we'll make it a 2-for night. We'll get you into another spot, just us groups.
That'd be cool.
Nice.
Quite a bit here that, we've been to many times or a couple times. And a lot of times these businesses just want to know that they want to see our equipment work. They want to see the spirits interact and make sure that, that pizza pan that flew across the room really flew across the room kind of thing,
Right.
And there's those that, they're just not into it, or they don't believe in it, or they just don't want the reputation of being haunted, right? But I don't know who wouldn't want the reputation of being haunted, right? I'm thinking of using that for my business slogan now. Get people in the door.
Yeah,
how about you, Darren?
I've done actually Wandering Spirits Pacific Northwest says, yep, Flavel House is a great place. We have some EVPs and heard footsteps upstairs. Yep, Flavel House was the one we went in, and we tried to talk to him, and the museum director said, well, you can go in, you can pay your money, you can view the place, but don't let anybody know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So it was like, I wore a big vest in. Oh, well, yeah, we were at towards the end of the night. We kind of played it out to, we got an hour till closing. There's not a lot of business. Wear a heavy jacket in the middle of summer and smuggle our stuff in. No, we're not obvious at all.
working on something, so I'll keep you in mind for sure.
Yeah, and then I know there's the Flavel house, Harry Hatchett's house. Hatchet, Harry Flavel.
Yeah, it's
we actually
privately
went up to
owned.
the. Yeah, we went up to the doorstep when it was all boarded up and sat on the front step. Took a little spirit box and just kind of did something, real quick and nasty, like just, no, we're just sitting here for a second. We're not doing anything. Nothing to see here.
You never know what you're going to catch, though. You never know.
Yeah, we got some footage that actually ended up getting lost through the dust of time.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's terrible how that happens. Usually, at least one file gets corrupt on the way from the location to my computer.
Yeah, it was. We lost 4 files that day. We went to Battery Russell, did a few, then we stopped in Astoria, went up to Hatchet Harry's house, and then we hit Fort Clatsop. And then we only got Fort Clatsop audio files was the only thing we actually came home with.
Wow.
And there was nothing. There was nothing at Fort Clatsop.
Really? I've never
we got nothing that day. We got absolutely nothing that day.
Battery Russell out at Fort Stevens is pretty good. We get quite a bit out there. And the oh Lord, what's the name of it? The cemetery out in Warrenton that's not too far from Battery Russell. We usually do it a twofer that night. What's it called? The mausoleum. The mausoleum was pretty active when I was there a couple times, but I think they caught on because they started closing it and locking it.
Of course
like,
they
damn
did.
it, I guess I'm not supposed to be in there at night. Prove I was there.
So we're going to go back to the Klondike here for a second now. As we've said in our walks and our everything else, that the building is, with the time that it was in service and all the crimes and the misdemeanors and the actual murders that had happened there, plus the abortion room and everything else that had gone on. We've always said that, because there's that one person that thinks that when I'm talking about our ghosts that we encounter, she thinks I'm just making it up. And I've always said that it's like a haunted building with that many spirits is kind of like a workplace. Yes, you're going to know Colin in finance, but you may not get along with Colin in finance, and you might know that guy over there in a different part of the building, but you don't know his name. But then you got your work besties that you're going to get along with. So like Beth, Frankie, Charles, the crying woman, the madam. We kind of feel that those have like gravitated towards us.
Absolutely.
And when they see us coming, they're like, "Hey, there's my work bestie."
Yeah.
Let's see how much we can get them riled up, right?
I think that happens in places that they're used to you. Like when we do gullies a lot, they always call out Nat's name because they remember us and they gravitate towards us. But I think, the way you investigate and the way you and your group are, you're speaking to the spirits and you're trying to communicate in a respectful way is different than the way the person you're speaking about does. Does that make sense? Yeah. I mean, she doesn't really investigate. Do you know what I mean? So for her to think that she knows who's there and who's not there is kind of ridiculous. Without calling her out, I'm calling her out because she doesn't investigate. Period. So if anyone's going to know them, it's going to be a group, you, Darren, that has been there many times and has had communications with them, you know? I think you're more qualified to know who's there.
Well, I know James has been there quite a lot with me, and him and I have had go rounds with Charles.
Boy, did we!
Boy, that would be awesome.
Spirit box arguments 2 nights in a row. Darren one night, me one night. Yeah, 15 minutes apiece. Yeah.
It's outside.
What's that?
That was just outside.
No, that was inside.
Down in the basement.
Down in the basement.
When did you get to the basement? It
was
a while back, though, right?
2021.
I guess I didn't realize you two had known each other that long. I don't know why, but okay.
Yeah, we've known each other for 7 or 8 years.
Why aren't you with Darren?
7, 8, 9 years, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, just different groups. Gotcha.
Yes.
Just different groups. We may all wear different symbols and names, but we're all para-family.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for the most part. You know, but just like any family, there's the black sheeps and the ones we don't invite to Thanksgiving. Well, that's very cool. I've never had like communication like that, like you guys are talking about, because, you know, the time we spent in there was short. You know, we didn't have the luxury of spending all night in there or whatnot, which would be very, very cool.
Yeah, well, when we had our conversations, what was it? We were down there doing that Halloween deal with the
the Halloween tours, shoestring.
With the shoestring, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
We were there 2-3 hours?
About 4. We were there 4 hours a night.
Yeah.
Locked in the basement.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Between
just
the spirit box. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they only gave us the basement for that one.
Gotcha.
It was right after the current owner bought the place that we actually got to go in. We interviewed him for the other podcast we were doing.
Yeah.
And then we were given the keys to the place, and he said, "Hey, I'm going to go take care of some things. Here's the keys. Go nuts."
We went nuts, didn't we? We had SLS camera, everything going. Got some good stuff with that.
What are your feelings on the SLS since you brought it up?
It's sitting in my back closet right now. How's that?
Mine's in my closet, not to be touched ever again.
That's probably what's going to happen with mine. So,
you know, I was just curious because there's, you know, some things. There's something that's like, oh, really? What is that? But then you're like, oh, it's a doorway, you know, or it's a column. So there's too many false positives for me to think it's anything. So I just don't even bring it out anymore.
Yeah, we only had good success with it. Yeah, it's a lot of false positives. When we were at the Masonic building in St. Helens for an investigation in 2020, we got one good one that we could not rule out as being a false positive. It was a child figure sitting on the stage. And then we're looking at that, then the 2 puppets that we had up there as trigger objects actually went flying across the room.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
No way.
That was the only time that the SLS got something, then something happens, and then we could see it walk away. But next to that, it's a pillar, it's a doorway, it's matrixing off of something else.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well...
They say the new version is different, but I'm not willing to spend the money to find out.
Right.
No, not so much now. So
I'll stick with my audio recorders and REM pods. Anything that lights up and makes sound, I have to have it. Yeah, I don't want to even show you the closet here. That's why the curtains are shut. It's just jam-packed with stuff I don't need. But I had to have it.
Oh, I hear you. We've got an investigation this coming Friday, and it's going through everything and going, okay, do we need this? No. Do we need this? No. It's simple residence. How much gear do we really need? Which leads into another good question here. If you only had one piece of gear to take on an investigation, what would it be? Recorder?
Hands down, audio recorder. Yep. Because the thing is, if I'm there and I'm recording and I don't hear anything, and then I play it back later and I hear a voice and I know for a fact that voice wasn't there when it happened, that tells me there's something in another frequency talking. So that's the only thing I really trust is my audio recorder. Even though, it's fun to see the REM pod light up, right? We all like that. Yeah. Or the cat ball. But yeah, my audio recorder. How about you?
Go ahead, James.
I think I'm with you, the audio recorder as well. I mean, I've got several different ones. I even got the old school tape ones. So,
wow.
So yeah. I mean,
cool.
Yeah, I've only used that tape one on one investigation, and yeah, I didn't get nothing on that one. But yeah, it's like you said, going into a place, the audio recorder, yeah, you don't hear anything, yeah. So that's it for me. All the other stuff is glorified enjoyment, entertainment.
You, Darren, K2.
Actually, I would have to go old school. I've had more success. Well, before the K2. When I first started out, we had the basic EMF detector, the digital one with no lights and no stand up anything. But the best evidence I have ever gotten was flour and a coin.
Okay. How'd that happen? How'd that work?
Basically, the homeowner was talking about a demonic entity moving things around, and so I took the old tape recorder in, took my old meters in, and this was back in 94, 95, and weren't getting anything. The tape deck was real old. It was a reel-to-reel, so it was scratchy. It wasn't top of the line. I was just getting going. So we took a quarter and some flour, and we just put it in the center of the floor where everything moved, put flour all the way around it, and we all left. We went to the bar. We came back, and it moved all the way across the kitchen. The cool thing was you could see the flour move all the way across.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. That would be amazing.
That was one of the
cool stuff.
Well, it was the 90s, It was just starting out before all the gears and the gadgets, and
yeah. You're thinking outside the box.
I was thinking about with what I had.
Do you remember a show with Peter James? The guy had gray hair, and did he have a black mustache or black eyebrows? Do you know what I'm talking about? Old school psychic, like in the 80s. Damn. Wish I could remember what show it was on. But he was doing ghost shows before ghost shows were ghost shows, right? It was pretty cool stuff that they were doing, but low tech for sure. Speaking of a quarter, have you ever heard of spirits dropping coins to let you know they're around? You ever heard of that? Well, it's dimes at my house. And it'll happen for 2-3 weeks. We'll find dimes in the weirdest places. Like the dog will get up off the chair that we know he's been sitting in that chair all day. He gets up and there's a dime under him. Okay, no one sits in that chair. Where'd the dime come from, right? Just some weird stuff like that happens, and then all of a sudden it just stops. It's just it's weird, right? How can they do something when they have no hands, right? I mean, how does this even happen? Have you had any cases
wandering
with that kind of stuff?
Says dropping coins, weird things appearing where they shouldn't be. I have had a few of cases like that. I've actually had somebody who bought a brand new microwave and brought it home. It was still in the box. He put it in the garage. I did an investigation. I left, and then he immediately called me back over because the microwave burst into flames in the box in the garage.
No way. What?
Burned right through the whole top of it.
That is crazy.
A column of fire. So we called in the clergy on that one.
Wow.
But it was still in the box.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it was actually the same house with the coin.
Is that the craziest story you have from any investigation?
Well, besides arguing with Charles at the Klondike for 15 minutes in a row.
Yeah.
All right. How about you, James?
Go for it, James.
What's that? Shit. I think for me,
Charles.
No. I would have to go back to Astoria deals only because of the female spirit. She actually shared with me what had happened to her, and I felt it physically, mentally. I felt the pains. I was, bent over in pain. I was tearing up. I mean, I felt really bad for her for what happened to her. So from that, out of all my investigations, that one's really it sticks with me to this day.
Sure.
So, and that was been probably 2 years ago now.
Oh wow. Well, I think Darren has us beat, but that's a great story though.
Definitely.
Almost losing this guy's house to a fire. That's got to top us all, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he didn't live there much longer after that. He ended up moving as quickly as possible.
I'm sure.
Yeah. We've gone to a couple places where people are so freaked out. They're like, yeah, we can't live here. We can't be here alone. Thank God we're moving out. But this is the last night. We have the house. Come check it out before we give the keys back. And they are just so adamant that so much stuff has happened there. And then the whole night, nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. Crickets, right? And sometimes you just have to wonder, is it really happening? It probably is. But, just like when we give our tours, it's not a circus act.
Right.
We can't make spirits do anything. So maybe they're in the corner going, ha ha, ladies, not playing your game tonight, right? So then you walk away, leave thinking, man, what a waste of like 6 hours. Mm-hmm. But really, was it a waste? I mean, there was an opportunity there to possibly interact with spirits. So those are the opportunities I don't want to pass up. Even though it's like, really, they got crap flying across the room and they're getting choked out in the middle of the night. Sure, that's going to happen. We don't want to go, but I'm never going to say no. We're going just on the off chance that I could see something fly across the room. I don't want to miss it. There's a place in Rainier. Won't tell you where, but I might take you guys. They say things fly in the restaurant. And it's like, really? Does anybody put any cameras out? Can somebody put a camera out? I mean,
Get some video.
And then we have the spirit bottles we gave them, and they said, oh, yeah, they go crazy. Everybody has a phone. Can someone get video of this, please? But, people, I guess, don't think about it. I don't know. But these are the things in place for you to have proof that things are happening. Utilize them so people don't think you're crazy. Because there's enough of them out there that think we are crazy.
Yeah. Well, I know we had a skeptic once upon a time on the team. And
really?
Yeah. But we took him to the bridge tender in Seaside for an investigation with the Ghost Conference. And we took up a bag of coins because we're like, all right, we're going to go up on the old brothel. We're going to try to offer you up to the madam and the working girls. And of course, he's eye rolling at us. And it's, we jingle the bag of coins, and across the spirit box, we get, "It's not enough." And he kind of stopped and went, "Wait a minute, did that thing just say it's not enough?" I go, "Yeah, it just said it's not enough."
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, how much you got in there?" I'm like, "I got $10 Canadian."
Funny.
But he
Wow.
believed that night. He was a believer for one night only, apparently. But hey. But we missed the guys. Someday, maybe he'll come back. We don't know.
Thanks, people are people. And, sometimes they need to just go away for a while.
Yeah.
Not everybody gets along.
True.
Like Nat and I get along 99.9% of the time. And if we've ever had an issue, though, we've been able to talk about it, and I'm pretty type A personality. So I like things the way I like them, so it's usually me that's having the problem, and she gets it. But that's like one of the reasons why we don't want anyone else to come on our team. It's because we know how we work together, and we usually do such small investigations. It doesn't need more than us anyway, right? But we do have people that ask us quite often, "Hey, can we go on investigations with you?" And that's when we do these bigger things for like the Ghost Conference and the Liberty Theater, that we will have those people come with us and help us out. Like they're the people wrangler or the whatever. So they can see what it's like to be on investigation and to investigate places you normally wouldn't have the opportunity to investigate. For the most part, it's best it's just Natalie and I. And that way you don't have a bunch of conflict when you have bigger groups, I mean, you know what it's like.
Definitely.
Yeah, well, I mean, Gaps has got more people than DBK does.
Well, shrunk. It has shrunk a few. And it could shrink again here pretty soon.
River's big too, though, right?
I think right now I'm up. I was originally at 10 members. I'm down to 7.
Oh.
It could go down to 5 here pretty quick. And
well,
those
and you
5
guys are in areas where you can go to bigger areas. We're pretty small. Podunk out here. We don't need a huge team.
Yeah. So
and usually there's enough people from the businesses that want to go that I couldn't have a bunch of people.
Yeah, and that was my problem with the investigation we did out in Astoria. I brought, because I wasn't 100% sure, I brought, I think, 8 out of the 10 because 2 couldn't make it. And I made the mistake of having everyone there knowing the full layout exactly. I couldn't have anyone on the top floor because it's a 2-story. You can't have no one on the. It's too noisy, and that first investigation, we didn't get a whole lot because of the contamination. But I learned after that, so I dropped it. I brought it down to like 4 people after that. And just kind of took turns
together.
So
you got to be together. There's holy cow, there's so many things you can run into in there and knock over. I mean, you just all have to be together.
Well, yeah, and I spent most of my time back in their storage area because that's where a lot of the activity was happening. So
okay,
I let everyone else kind of do their thing elsewhere.
All right.
But the team's shrinking.
So it was 2 years ago you were there?
I believe it's been just about 2 years now. Yeah.
Okay.
I've been meaning to get a hold of the gal that my wife's friend's mother who works there. I just have to get the okay and let them know when and what time I'm going to be there, and take the key and head over.
That would be awesome. We'll meet you there.
I'll pick Darren up on the way.
We're going to be knocking on the door.
I'll be saying, "Come on in."
so many stories about the underground here. We get a lot of tourists, you know, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we've heard about all these tunnels that snake under Astoria." Like, you know, at one point they were all open, but after the fire, I believe, is when they started cordoning them off. So every business has a basement now. It's not like it's completely open under there.
Oh yeah, and to think about it, I did do the underground tours down there and an investigation down there. Briefly, they let us in for the group. We kind of went in after hours.
Astoria Underground, not the butcher shop one.
No, not the butcher shop. The Astoria Underground one there.
Yeah, he's we've been trying to do the paranormal tour for him, but he's very much into the history of Astoria and wants to keep it that way, which is cool. There's areas, I guess, that he has a new area that he's allowed to get into now, but still, it's not like you're going 6 miles through Astoria.
No.
You know, you think you are, but you're not, just because of the way it's set up, right? But we were at one end of town at a furniture store, and in their basement there was an entrance into under the sidewalks, and it was, you know, dirt and whatnot, and allegedly you can go from that end of town to the other end of town, which is, I don't know, 15 blocks or something. But, you know, a lot of the spaces are like this. So, you know, unless you're going to dig it out or you're some, you know, really tiny person, you're not going to get through it. But it's feasible. Right. The rest of it is cordoned off with, you know, concrete or whatnot, and they're just basements. Some of them are really cool, and some of them are dirty, nasty basements. Depends on what it is. We had a flower shop in town that burnt about, I think, 2008 maybe, and I actually used to work there, and I knew the owners, and it's a different kind of store now, and he thinks he's having some activity from this guy. And Natalie and I went in there and did just a really quick investigation, and I thought, you know, because I know him and he knows me, maybe there would be some great activity. Not really, but it was just a short, you know, investigation, just so like a baseline thing, right? But anyway, go down into that basement since it had burned and they had redone it. It is a beautiful basement. There, I mean, you don't want to even go down there and investigate because it's so pretty down there. It's like, there are no ghosts down here. It's pretty, you know. But that is a place that I am wanting to go back, and I'm hoping that, because if it is him, that to find out, does he recognize people? Do they remember people? You know what I mean? I mean, is that a thing? Right. I don't know. It would be super cool if it were true.
Yeah, I mean, now all of our experience with the Klondike, I mean, you know, like I said before, those spirits, they tend to identify us. They respond more to us. I know there's a lot more spirits that are in the Klondike than just the 5 that we talked to.
Sure, for sure.
I mean, you've got the murderer up on the 2nd floor. Now, the history on the murder on the 2nd floor is there's different takes on it. But basically what had happened was one of the customers brought up a working girl to his room. Her husband came looking for her. There was a standoff. The customer had a knife to her throat. The husband had a gun pointed at him. And the town minister had come to try to de-escalate the situation.
Wow.
One story says that the minister was shot in a scuffle between the two men. Another report says that during the scuffle, the minister accidentally shot the husband trying to wrestle the gun away. And we kept forgetting to do it when we were filming the documentary about taking the black light up to the room and see if we can't see any blood. Yeah, I forgot all about it. Till we actually were done. I'm like, oh, damn it.
That would have been awesome. So
We'll
besides,
put that down on the next to-do list on the Klondike.
gosh, let's do that, right? For sure. I'm serious, for real. Besides the fire and the microwave, what's the scariest location you guys have encountered, do you think? Have you encountered a scary place? Maybe not demonic, but just some place that scared the crap out of you.
James, I think James knows exactly what I'm going to say.
You're going to say the Tiger Demon House.
Yes, I'm going to say the Tiger Demon House.
Okay. Now you got to tell me.
You go ahead.
We got a call to come in. The gentleman, the homeowner, was talking about him and his girlfriend and the dog would be laying in the bedroom with the bedroom door closed, and they could hear a dog up and down the hallway and scratching on the door. They only had the one dog. The bed would levitate. There was a lot of other things where the homeowner would get a call. He worked graveyard at the airline with me. Well, his girlfriend would call and say, this is going on. There's this, there was liquid dripping off the wall one day. The dog clawing up and down the hallways, scratching the door, the bed levitating. We went out there, and there were like two different spirits that were fighting for possession of the house. It was the original homeowner, and then it was the demon, and we had a light sensor up in the hallway, and they started lighting up as the shadow came down the hallway towards us, and then they would turn off behind it, and then it would turn around and go back down the hallway, and then lights would light back up all the way down, and then we had the spirit box out, and we were getting the same voice over and over and over again saying, what is your name? I am the lamb. What is your name? You're not the lamb. I am your God. Nope. You need to tell us. You need to tell us your name, who you are, and it was like, you will worship me.
Oh my God!
All the same voice.
Wow.
Well, so we all take a step outside. We leave the homeowner and the girlfriend inside, but we've got cameras set up all over the place. Digital
and
recorders,
audio
cameras
recorders.
set up. Yeah. You want to fill this in on the last part?
No, you're doing really good, because mine will be
So we go out. We discussing our next step. Nope, it's not fake. She used to practice black magic with her ex-boyfriend before he ended up sacrificing himself during a ritual. So when we're outside, the homeowner and the girlfriend are discussing this on the couch with the camera pointed right towards them.
And an audio recorder in between them on a coffee table.
God.
And she's talking. Now he's a hardline Catholic, and she's like, "Well, should I tell them that I've been practicing witchcraft and I have all this stuff in the garage?" She had brought her ex-boyfriend's grimoires, sacrificial altar. They were all in a box in the garage. Yeah, it's like, yeah, he sacrificed himself to a demon. Of course, this is going to be bad mojo. And she just went, oh, well, he's dead, and took all the stuff. Yeah. So we didn't find that out until we found all that out after doing evidence review. So we go back in, we bless the house, we bless the people. She didn't want to be blessed. We go back, we're doing evidence review. A couple of days later, I get a phone call from one of the investigators and the minister, and he's like, hey, did you listen to this on this timestamp? I'm like, no, I haven't got that far yet. So I went fast forwarded to it, and I'm like, really? Wow. No wonder this place is just crawling with dark and evil. And so,
what do they expect you to do if they're doing that? I mean, what are you supposed to do about it?
He didn't even know she was doing it. She was still doing it while he was at work.
Oh my God.
So he ends up calling me one night and he's like, listen, I kicked her out. All the stuff's still in my garage. What should I do with it? And I said, hey, you ever seen the show Supernatural? He goes, yeah. I go, salt it, burn it. Just take the boxes, salt them, burn them, put them in a burn barrel, just get rid of them. I'm like, I can send a minister back out your way, but it's going to be a bit.
So did the stuff stop?
He ended up moving to Tennessee like a week later.
I'm knock and talk. Hey, anything weird happening at your house?
Well, it was a weird situation. His ex-wife got the house in Tennessee. He got the house here. Then she got a job in Portland, and he said, well, I'm taking the house in Tennessee. You get this house. Bye. See ya. I actually did talk to him. I said, hey, I know not everyone talks to their exes all the time, but is she having issues with the house? He's like, I don't know. I don't talk to her.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that is amazing. Wow. Yeah. I don't know that I'd want to have anything like that. You know, I like just the run of the mill, you know, knocking on the door kind of spirit, you know. I don't want stuff oozing from the walls. Thanks.
Yeah, I do believe that we prefer the 15-minute argument with Charles McCormick at the Klondike Morden dealing with, oh yeah, there's a spirit here. By the way, I've been practicing black magic and my ex-boyfriend's stuff's in the garage. And oh yeah, he's killed himself during a session to make a deal with the devil.
Wrong with people.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Right. Yeah, leave it at that, right? You just never know. You never know what's real and what's not real till you experience it yourself. You know, I'm a skeptical believer. Absolutely, I believe, but I don't think that everything is something. You know what I mean? Like, I'll just debunk stuff to death. You know, Natalie go, oh my God, did you see that? I go, I think that's what it was. And I'll argue tooth and nail that wasn't what it was. Unless I can have it reenacted like 6 times. Then I'll go, okay, maybe, you know.
Yeah.
My husband's not a believer, but the man has been scratched 3 times in my house. And we don't have a cat, and it wasn't a dog. So, you know, and sometimes he'll hear me doing my evidence review in the room next to him. And he can hear some of the stuff and he'll go, wow, that was really weird, right? And I'm like, do you believe yet? He goes, I don't know. I want it to happen to me. I'm like, scratches, you know, those happen to you. But I will say, at our shop, we have a common area restroom, right? And he had gone to the restroom and came back and was like, white as a ghost, right? And he goes, you're not going to believe what happened. I'm like, all right, what? Try me. He goes, I washed my hands. I was getting ready to leave. And it's a common bathroom. So it has a deadbolt, but it has like an airline deadbolt. Occupied, not occupied, right?
Right.
He turned around and the deadbolt thing was moving. Well, there's no way for that to move because there's no key thing on the other side, right?
Right.
So and he opens the door and there's no one there. Freak out, right? And I'm like, I told you there's something down here. We've both seen stuff out of the corner of our eyes. We just, you know, when you're down there working, you just don't pay attention anymore because you're just there to do your job and you get out and go home.
Right.
But there is something down there. There's a spare office kind of storage place that has curtains, and one of the other ladies that works down there has seen somebody peeking through the curtains and nobody's in there, you know? So yeah. Natalie and I've been down there for, you know, maybe 10 minutes to investigate while we were across the street doing something else. But one of these nights we'll go down there for longer and see what we can get. Because I really want to be able to say, yeah, this is the haunted tattoo shop in town. Come on down.
They would drive up the business. So
yeah,
the final,
that, right? Or drive them away because people don't.
Oh, come on. My tattoo artist is like, God, I wish my place was haunted. It would give us more business. The heart of Halloween town.
Right downtown?
It's right downtown.
Well, she's got to do something to call them in then. They should wander by.
She's right there with all the tunnels and everything else in St. Helens, so I don't know why she doesn't have a ghost.
Can you get into the tunnels?
No, the city's got them blocked off and filled in as fast as they cave in.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha.
Because they want to deny it every single year that there are tunnels.
Oh, okay.
And now they're doing all the construction and trying to beautify the downtown area.
Yeah.
Well, as they're working, they're caving in what tunnels don't have doorways in them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, like there's the old Kavila Hotel site that we used to do on the walk. There's a tunnel that goes from the basement of that area over to the antique shop. And I kept talking about it. You listen, we found evidence of tunnels. We've talked to other people, business owners that, we have a tunnel that comes out underneath our building. And the city's like, nope, nothing to see here. There are no tunnels. We've never had tunnels. We don't have Shanghaiing. Oh, yeah. The road just caved in on itself, and there's brick and mortar, and there's a tunnel.
Darn. Yeah. Huh.
And then they I got the notification because my sister-in-law works at City Hall. So she sent me a text message and said, hey, just to let you know, the tunnel in front of the Kavila caved in while they were trying to pave the road. And it was during the work week. So by the time I got up, I was like, I'm calling out tonight. I'm sick. Got in the car, drove down. They had already filled everything in.
Damn.
Hitting me. Wow.
So the city they're saying, there are tunnels, but they're service tunnels for the docks, and they still don't want to say Shanghai.
Yeah, for sure, right? Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, it happened. It's history. It happened.
Well, if we can ever get back into the Klondike in the abortion room, there's a door on that back wall.
Yep.
I guess I didn't pay attention when we were in there. So if you go in there and you're facing, like you just walk through that doorway.
That's right.
Which way? Where's the door?
The back left-hand corner.
Yeah.
Back left corner. Okay. I guess I wasn't paying attention when we were in there.
Well, it's not exactly a full door. It looks like part of the wall.
Okay.
But there's a little bit of a lip on the top where something's like been digging at it.
Oh.
And if you take a flashlight and look in it's a passageway. I don't know how far back it goes.
We have got to get in there.
Nobody's brave enough to open that door.
Let's do it.
we just need to get in.
Yeah.
That third floor is the second floor. She's got so commercialized now. It's desensitized. I don't feel anything there anymore. It's too much of a sideshow act.
Yeah.
But going up to that third floor, it is creepy. And I did not like going up there by myself. And I didn't stay longer than to put up the gear, turn on the recorders, and go down. But I think that third floor needs to be really investigated. That's where we had, we were running the spirit box, but the voice was so clear and so different than what you get out of a spirit box. I think that it was just a disembodied voice that we happened to hear during a spirit box session. And so I'll tell you a short story. We had gone there the first time we went there. We were paying customers for this tour, and it was only Natalie and I that showed up for this Friday tour. And we come in with freaking cases of stuff, and this lady's like, "What?" And she goes, yeah, you're the only two that have come tonight, so the place is yours. And we're like, okay, great. Where do we get to go? The restaurant. That's all they were going to give us was the restaurant. I'm like, what? We drove all this way to do this? And if people haven't been there, you have to know this thing can't be more than, I don't know, 200 square feet. It's tiny. I don't know, it's probably bigger than that, but so we're like, okay. And she's like, you know what? You guys seem to know what you're doing. I'll take you upstairs. I'll take you to the second floor. All right, cool. Then she goes, we'll take you to the third floor. And getting up to the third floor is sketchy, right? So the husband's in the front, and he's going, watch your step here, watch your step there, whatever. So we get up there, and we start doing spirit box almost immediately. And you hear a woman, plain as day, say, be careful. It shocked us all. You could hear three of us after that repeat it, go, be careful. It was plain as day. And we're like, how apropos was that after we just, climbed up those rickety ass stairs? And that's basically 140 years upstairs that's been untouched on that third floor. So, I mean, those boards are not that sturdy.
No, they're not.
No,
they're not.
And that's the same night we got the apparition photo. So that place is really, really active. And it's too bad it can't be capitalized on more. These goofy little things that who does doesn't seem enough. It seems like more of the story should be told. You know what I mean?
Well, what I told the new owner once upon a time was, if you put cameras up on the third floor, basement, maybe even the second floor, you could just put monitors down in the restaurant area, or you can stream it to a Facebook page, a web page.
Yeah, people can watch.
People could watch it day and night and just be like enraptured and then have to be going in.
Yeah, that would be cool.
But I know that cool. When we shot the documentary, they were talking about coming back and doing another episode. And the game plan was to actually put people on the third floor with sleeping bags and sleeping mats to try to sleep through the day and recreate the hotel environment.
Get me on that list, because I know you're first on the list. That would be fun.
Sleeping bag, sleeping mat, get up in the... I want 308s. I want 308s so badly. That's Beth's room. And just camp out, go lights out, cameras on everybody, and just be like, all right, we're all going to sleep now, and just sit and see what happens.
Where am I at? Hang on. Where am I at in the hotel? So when you come up the stairs and you look straight forward, but you go to you look to your left, that corner room, whatever that number is, that room, I don't like that room for some reason. It's on the corner, but I can't decide which corner.
So if we go up the stairs, the river corner. So if we go up the staircase, we're looking, it goes to the left and goes to the right. And then there's one little hallway that goes back a little ways. If you go to the right, if you go to the right when you get to the top of the stairs, you go all the way down to the end, and it's the end room
on the
riverside on the right hand. That's 308. That's Beth's room.
Okay, so it's complete opposite. Okay, from the one that I think is weird. All right, gotcha. Yeah,
you're thinking of 319, I think it is. I think that's 319.
We didn't really spend a lot of time on the third floor, even though we were able to, because, doing the tours and stuff. We basically just set gear and then left. But I think the third floor really needs to be investigated. And that's the place he doesn't want you to go, because it is dangerous up there. But, there's ways around that. Make it so it's not dangerous. How hard is that?
I do. Okay, well, if we're going back to debunking, here's one little thing. So, when we did a public fundraiser, that's where I met James at the Klondike. We were up on the third floor, and I had a thermal camera on me. And we go into this one room, and I'm picking up a large heat signature in the middle of the room. So some
Wasn't
people
that the one
going,
next
oh my
to
God.
308?
It was
Wasn't that
across
the one right next
308.
to? Oh yes, that's right.
Yeah. Well, what it was, it's the room right above the kitchen. So all the heat, because they keep the grill on, so there's still heat coming off the grill. So that heat was going up to the second floor and up to the third floor because there's nothing to trap the heat between the floors.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
but see,
so our mutual friend who is running tours in a place we won't bring up because she might curse me, saw that the plume of heat coming up to the floor and got all excited that there was an apparition manifesting in the middle of the room. And then I went over and felt where it was. I'm like, yeah, it's heat. And then we went down we were going to the basement, and it's like stove, second floor. I mean, you could track this and debunk it all the way.
Yeah. Wow.
But hey, they were all excited. There was
it sucks, but you have to debunk it, you know?
Yeah.
Not everything is something, you know?
Right.
It's like, but well, it's like I love-hate with orbs, dust. I think personally, my opinion is if it's 1 or 2 balls of light, it's possibly an orb, whatever an orb may be, right? But if it's thousands of these, come on, it's dust, right?
Exactly.
But
we're insects.
If we're on a tour and I've got people coming up to me, because we tell people, take pictures, take videos, because you never know what you're going to find, And, people will come up to me and go, oh my God, look at what I got look what I got, I'm no expert, so who am I to tell them that's dust, right? I'm never, ever going to lie about anything. But if people want to be excited about the evidence that they think they have captured, I'm going to say that is super cool. Because I'm not an expert. I can't tell them that's not an orb. How do I know? You know what I mean? So I just give them my own opinion that I think maybe it's probably dust, but you never know.
Yeah, I think we're going to end the show with that. We're a little over, but hey, it's chaos. We're going to leave it on that much. Thank you, Signe Condon, for joining us from Ghostoria.
Yeah, it was fun. Thank you.
I don't know who we're getting in the next hot seat, but I do know we've got the Oregon Ghost Conference coming up in March, and if they've listened to us, not fast enough, but if they listen to us, we'll all be in that nice, glorious row
next to each other.
Yes.
Exactly. That would be awesome. That would be chaos. Now that we're more acquainted with each other, that's going to be real chaos.
Yes.
And that is what we thrive on.
Yeah.
So thanks everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Signe, for joining us.
Thank you.
It was fun.
And
have a good night, guys.
Chaotic, and hopefully we can get in the Klondike. See you later. I'm signing off, everybody.
Yeah.
Good night.
Bye.
Night.